Vigits, yo, what's up guys, what's going on? Hope y'all doing well. I was trying to make this video right after the game ended, but I couldn't because I had to go to work. And I didn't even catch the last 7 minutes of the game, so I didn't get to see Haaland's goal. I got to see that while I was at work. I had to sneak into the bathroom and check it out. But I don't think I missed out on much because this game was pretty much wrapped up the first half. You could tell what kind of game this was going to be. You could tell what was looming and waiting for Arsenal, and indeed that's what ended up happening pretty much the whole game. They got butchered. They got butchered by Man City. I mean, just completely ripped apart. Who told Arsenal that they had a chance to win? I think even Arsenal fans in their heart of hearts knew that this was going to be a win for Man City, just hoping that it was going to be a complete beating, right? Especially on the scoreboard, but it ended up being more or less that on the scoreboard and on the field. God, just the game itself. I mean, that goal. I'm gonna start with that goal because there's so much I want to talk about. I'm probably gonna miss out on some of these points that I'm gonna try to make, but that first goal, Haaland laying it off to Kevin De Bruyne, really good on behalf of Haaland, and more on Haaland. I thought Haaland had a fantastic game and played the way I think he deserves to play, the way I think we as spectators deserve to watch a player like that play. So he did really well with holding and holding onto the ball, no pun intended, holding onto the ball and laying it off to KDB, Kevin De Bruyne. But what gets to me is that there were three men on this guy, and KDB, while he's an amazing player, especially with that right foot, magical right foot, you could have caught up to him. He's not known for his pace. There's no way, and I think that's why Ramsdale, because it was well placed, but it wasn't a powerful shot. It was really well placed, and I thought maybe at first I said maybe Ramsdale could have done a better job at blocking that. But what I think Ramsdale was assuming was that three of his main guys, defenders, were gonna get to him, and I thought at some point they were gonna cut him off. Why are they looking at him? They're going to cut him off. That to me was the defenders. I think they could have done a better job. Credit to KDB. I think he did an amazing job with the run. But I do feel that Gabriel, Ben White, somebody should have stuck their foot in. It was three of them. I think they could have done a bit better. Again, credit to the amazing run and the shot. I mean, well placed. That was a fantastic goal. That was a really, really good goal. But at the same time, that it right here, at the lower pit of my stomach, I just said this is going to be a nightmare for Arsenal. And then right after that play, there was another play where I think it was Haaland again. It was Haaland again giving it to KDB for another run. It was almost the same identical play as the first goal. And you could tell in this one that he was not known for his pace because two of the defenders were able to catch up to him. But what gets to me is before Haaland laid it off to KDB, Kevin De Bruyne, you see Saka. Now, I know Saka is not supposed to be marking, KDB. It was holding overcommitted and was caught off, obviously. But once you get caught off, okay, fine. Who's there to back you up? Saka was right in front of, KDB. And he just looked at him make the sprint. He just watched him make the sprint, knowing that he was going to sprint. And this was the midfield. So the midfield all the way to the 16-yard box. You had a whole mess of space to be able to catch up to him. And I know Saka has speed. Am I wrong here? And he just looked at him. He just watched the man just take the ball in. He kind of jogged, back thinking that I think it was Ben White or I don't know who. There were two of them this time, just waiting for him or that caught up to him, the central defenders. He could have done a better job. He could have been the one to dispossess KDB. And he just looked at him. That's one of my irks with Saka, that I could just go on and on why this guy is just infuriating to watch. Saka. I mean, if I was Arteta, I'd be blowing a fuse. I was blowing a fuse. I was like, are you kidding me? You can't do that. I hope Arteta was in the halftime telling him, yo, you don't ever do that again. That was your guy. Yes, holding over committed, but that's you. There you are to back him up. And he just watched them again. I just couldn't believe it. It wasn't a goal, But that could have been the second goal right there. And then by the time the third goal came in, I mean, Gabriel, I don't know what he was doing. I mean, he lost complete track of where Stones was. And I didn't check whether it was offside or not, because at that point I just kind of like threw up my arms and said, you know what, screw this. Like, screw this. They're gonna kill them. They're gonna murder them. And obviously it was a goal. I thought it was gonna be an offside because I did see that it seemed at first that it was an offside. But at that point, I said, what's the point? The third goal is coming. I mean, how many chances did this team have, did Man City have in the first half? They had so many chances. Haaland was completely all over that ball. Bernardo Silva had a chance. Everyone had a chance. It even got to one point where Emerson was holding on the ball for like 10 seconds in his box. Studs over the ball for 10 seconds at least. Just waiting. I thought at one point he was going to tell Gundogan, hey, you want to switch? And you know what? Pep is known for making all these crazy switches, right? You never know what Pep's lineup is going to be. At that point, I would have tried something different. That would cemented him as the greatest coach, the legend of Guardiola, putting Gundogan to goalie and Emerson to midfield. I think it could have been done. I honestly think, I know it's crazy talk. You're thinking like, what is this guy talking? I think it could have been done. That's how comfortable City were. To that point, that Emerson's just waiting. Now I know Arsenal's thinking, do we press? Because if we press, we fall victim to them just, clearing the front line. But if we wait for them, I mean, they're still going to come to you and they're still going to get through you, because there was no way stopping Man City. There was no way to stop Man City. I thought in the beginning Arsenal were playing too wide, and that's why the first goal came. They did a huge mistake by playing too wide. They should have been a little bit more bottled up. But even so, it was really hard to keep this City team from getting through. I mean, they were getting through at will. They made it look so damn easy. I'm telling you, Saka, I hope he has the flu. I hope he didn't have a good game, because he was coming off of a cold or something, and this morning you find him in his jammy jams, in his pajamas, because that kid did not do anything but just every time he had the ball, just playing it back. Not once did I see him challenge Walker or a defender. Yes, he had two guys. Even Haaland went sometimes to help out and defend and have that double marking. But Saka, bro, come on, like that's the thing. Like when people say he has so much potential, you're right. He has potential in certain games. Games like this, he's off. He's nowhere to be found. That's what pisses me off so much, that everyone's praising him. The pundits are always like, venerating him, that he's this awesome player. He's brave. He's courageous. He's smart on the ball. No, he ain't. He is on certain games, but he's not consistent. He's young, so you could give him the benefit of doubt that in the future he's going to get better. But speaking of right now, and I know he's been integral. I know he's been a key figure for Arsenal, and he's one of the reasons why they've been on the top. I have to reiterate that, because people are going to start thinking that I have a bias against him. I do have certain bias against him. I'm not going to hide that, and it's obvious. But my guy, this game just showed and I've seen him play like this, even when they're playing good. He plays good one game and he scores 2 goals. He has a brace. He comes back the next game and he just does this thing which, like I said, very predictable. Playing it to the back, hooking it to his left, the same thing over and over. Now, don't worry, I'm saying the whole team was playing bad. It wasn't just him. I'm not trying to just pick on him. I'm just thinking the one guy I think that would be able to cost him, with Gabriel Jesus, which was also off. Today was an off day for him. That one kid, young and the more or less the emblem in the attacking team that is Arsenal, isn't doing anything. Because I'm thinking of, obviously the comparison I'm making, shame on me, right? With the likes of Henry and and Perez and all these other great attackers, but he always comes short. He always comes short of being this really outstanding player. He just isn't. And I'm going to stop it right there, because I don't want to pick on him, but I understand the pundits, being polite and, like I said, politically correct, but YouTubers, you got to be a little bit more honest. Yesterday, he was MIA. Saka was MIA. Everyone was pretty much MIA in this game. Martinelli was another. Call him up because I think he missed his school bus. He was not. He wasn't there. He wasn't there. Also, when he came out, I thought Saka also should have came out. That switch for Trossard and coming in, that should have been done a long time ago in the half. Not even marking. I thought at least you would give me that. I thought Saka would at least give you that, because he has the pace, the strength. Odegaard pretty much gifting again that amazing. I think that goal was better than the first one, or maybe a tie between the first one. Giving it to Haaland and Haaland laying it off to KDB, and KDB a la Neymar right between Holding's legs. Another thing with Holding, people were saying that had it been Saliba instead of Holding, it would have made a difference. Bruh, are you serious? Are you serious? That's kind of like saying, if Neymar played the 2014 World Cup against Germany, it would have made a difference. Dude, he would have just had front seats to spectate the massacre that Brazil was going to receive. That's it. That's what he would have had, front row seats at watching that spectacle play out right in front of him. So Saliba wasn't going to make a difference. Yeah, it would have been better to have him there, but Holding did what he could. I mean, he even got his goal, right? Which that goal, by the way, also came because right around that time, right before the goal, City was letting Arsenal play. That's the only time I saw City put their foot off the gas and just kind of just sit back and allow Arsenal to kind of circulate and move the ball around. And that's how they got their goal. I even saw, Guardiola was fuming. He was just like losing his marbles. And I think that's the first time I noticed that the City players actually took charge of the game and weren't really paying attention to what Guardiola was saying, because he was fuming. How could you let them do that, right? But this is one of those games that I don't think they were going to come back for a tie. For a win, forget about that. That wasn't going to happen. For a tie, also, I don't think that was far. You're dreaming if you thought you were going to tie that. So I was of two minds with this game, where I said they should have gave everything. This is the last game. Treat it as the last game. You should have left everything on that field. But at the same time, I'm thinking, if you want to win this, right, and forget that whole victorious and we can do anything and we got to grind and we got to hustle and that's how we're going to win this game. The strategy to get you to win the title would have been just playing defensively. Morocco, 2022 World Cup, like just defensively the whole game, which would have been really, really hard, but just leave it, in terms of leaving it all on the field, leave it like that defensively and try to get the tie. Try, and maybe on the break you get a goal, but try to aim for the tie. I don't think Guardiola would have expected that. He would have been like, "Oh man, my son over there, Arteta, he's trying to outfox me." That's the only way I think Arsenal were gonna win. In terms of the tie, if you're thinking about the tie, because there is no other way you would have beat this team. Everybody was thinking that, they're on even footing. No, you're not. You are far from being at the same level as Man City. Hell no. Wake up. That was not gonna happen. So had they just played defensively, I think they would have stood a chance. And maybe, like I said, on the break you get something. Because then it would have depended on City losing to somebody, which could have happened, or tying to someone, but then Arsenal winning every single game to win the title. I mean, that's pretty much out of the picture. Now that's not going to happen. Now, the highlight for me was Haaland. I was saying earlier, Haaland played an amazing game, an amazing match, amazing first match. What I really, really enjoyed was the link up between him and KDB. That was chef kisses. That was pure gold. Finally, I got to see, and I think a lot of people were expecting this and happy to see this. I'm sure the man himself was happy. He was so involved in the game, especially with KDB, the link up and just constantly going back, going to the middle, dropping back a little bit to receive the ball, making those runs that he's known to make, because he's not just a poacher. The guy that comes to mind was Inzaghi, Filippo Inzaghi for Milan. That guy had a nose for knowing exactly where to be to tap the ball in. Integral, I mean, thanks to him they won so many Champions League and Italian Cups. But Haaland isn't just a tapping kind of guy. He's more than that, and I got to see that. I was so happy to see that. That to me was the highlight right there. Him and KDB. I think the only mistake, there were like two mistakes that he made during the whole entire game, and it was kind of, you had to what just happened? I think he did that on purpose, right? He just threw the ball away. He had a fantastic game, and the goals that he scored, I mean, top class. And Haaland, again, really, really happy to see Haaland. I think that's the player that we all deserve to see. That's the player that he deserves it, because I know it makes him happy to play that way. Because that's what he's known to play as. Anyways, guys, that's all I got for today. Thank you so much again for watching these videos, and stay tuned for more videos to come. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.